Mic check as always. We are live. All right, welcome everybody to the XHL Season 1 draft. Hopefully this is going to take not too long. The format that I have for you guys tonight is a wheel spin. So I've got all of the custom prospects listed here with their overall rating next to their name. So we'll give this wheel a spin, and then whoever that lands on, that's who that player is going to take. Throughout the draft process, I do have Dalton Jett here. He is going to be updating this list for players that are drafted, and then I've got some work to do. So I've got to create all these players, 34 players in total, I believe. So 34 players in total. Some teams will have 2 players drafted, others will not. And that's how we'll operate the draft tonight. So hopefully it'll be fairly quick, and I'll just wait for some people to get in before we get going. And yeah, should be fun. Should be fun. I know you guys don't have any idea who these players are, and really, ultimately, you know, neither do I. To be quite honest with you, I'm not going to do any sort of like analysis on these players or anything. But just to give you some backdrop, some of these players were patron players, so people who donated on Patreon or supporting me that way monetarily. A part of the benefit of being a patron is that you get to have players in every series that I run currently. So these 85 overalls are patron players. The 80 overalls are also patron players. We have 175 overall patron player here, Jason Kelly, an offensive defenseman. Then we also have some ambassadors. So the XHL team ambassadors, people who are helping me out in Discord, throwing ideas out there, throwing brainstorming ideas. They're also getting a player thanks to their help. We've also got channel points players as well. So I did offer that up through Discord or through our live streams for channel points. I offer you guys to get players to buy players with channel points, and you guys earn channel points through questions that happen on any series that I run. So certain videos that pop up ask you certain questions, and if you get them right, you get channel points. But all that, I'm not going to go into too much detail here. We got a draft to get going. The draft order is officially going to start off with, as I zoom in here real quick, it's going to start off with the Hartford Whalers, and that is the team that the community voted on. We had 50 votes. So the Hartford Whalers are going to be your expansion team for season number 1. And the Quebec Nordiques were the other team that you guys had an option for. We had 50 votes, and 66% voted for the Hartford Whalers. So they're going to be our new expansion team. And as we just run down through the list, we got the Kalamazoo Wings, Wichita Thunder, Allen Americans, so on and so forth. And once we start getting into the XHL custom teams, really what determined where they're at in the order is playoff results. So that's kind of how that all broke down. Now, originally, I did not want to throw in these teams. I didn't want the OHL or ECHL teams. But through Discord, we had a little discussion. People were okay with the fact that these teams could draft custom players. So I didn't want to go that route, but everybody seemed to like the idea that, you know, the league could get better and more competitive that way if they can draft some custom guys. So we'll see how it all shakes out. We'll do it for season 1. We'll see how it goes and if these teams actually do get better. But anyway, that's how that's going to work. One other thing before we start getting into the spinning of the wheel and the draft, the Hartford Whalers are going to have 2 picks in the first round. They will be taking away Seattle's round number 1 pick because Seattle got Clayton Keller. So if you remember the All-Star game, the XHL All-Star game, the XHL West All-Stars, they won against the East, and they got to fight against the Arizona Coyotes. If they won, they could grab their best player, and they got Clayton Keller. So as a sort of, I don't know, make it fair type thing, a competitive balance type thing, they're giving their pick to the Whalers. So the Whalers are going to have 2 picks. They're an expansion team. They need all the help that they can get. So let's get into it, boys, and let's go with pick number 1. Let's put some music on, by the way. Let's get some music up in here, guys. There we go. There we go. All right, let's get a little hyped up here in the chat. Let's see who we got here first. We've got Polka Dot Gaming. We got Aaron Chavez. We got Jaws in the house. We got Sequestral. Chinbeard is in here. Husky, Poisonous Cobra, Crazy G, Prime Connor. Everybody's in the house, guys. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's get this thing underway. And just a little FYI, doesn't matter if you're an $85, $20 patron or you're an 85 channel points submission. You could get thrown into the 80 overall, 75 overall players. I'm not going to do it like I did with the GGBL or the Cubs, where you're drafting based on tier. I'm literally just drafting for the Whalers and for the Wings, for the Thunder, for the Americans. Whoever they take is who they're going to take. They could be a bad organization, right? They could take a 75 overall with the #1 pick. But they're scouts. Their scouts told them, right? Their scouts told them, the storylines. The scouts told them, hey, this guy's going to be pretty good, right? So we'll see. We'll see how it all pans out here. But the Hartford Whalers are on the clock, and here we go. Let's go ahead and spin this wheel, baby, and let's see who they are going to take. So they will take channel points winner here, Percy Pinkard, an enforcer center, #1 overall. So the Hartford Whalers will take an enforcer. Wow. So they could have had anything. They could have had a nice playmaker like Nicholas Dykstra, a playmaking center, Will Till, a goalie, but they decided to go with an enforcer. That's a little tough. So next pick will be the Kalamazoo Wings. Now, you know, again, I don't have too much like entertainment for you guys in this stream. It's literally just going to be spinning the wheel and seeing how good these teams draft. I have to do this live because if I don't, then people will basically say that I rigged it, you know? So I'm doing it live for you guys and showing you that it's not going to be rigged. Channel points member Riker Cooper is going to go to the Kalamazoo Wings. He's a hybrid goalie. And it's just kind of cool if you guys are in here and you have players to be drafted. You want to see where your guy's going to go. Percy Broadbent will be the next goalie taken off the board. He's going to go to the Wichita Thunder. Next up, the Allen Americans. They need some offense. I can tell you that right now. They need some dang offense. They're going to take Joaquin DeSoto, a sniper center. That's nice. That's nice. An 85 overall player. He's a patron guy, so that's where the Allen Americans are going to go. Greenville Swamp Rabbits, one of my favorite team names, guys. One of my favorite team names, the Swamp Rabbits. They're going to take Dane Poirier, a two-way forward, right winger. This is going to be good for them. This is going to be good for all of these OHL, ECHL teams taking guys that are going to help them. Idaho and Flint, next up. Idaho, who you got? Who you got, Idaho? Kirill Sitchov. Maybe that's I don't know. We'll have to see if that was, maybe there's another consonant in there, like a K, Sitchkov or something. I don't know. Sniper, left winger, Kirill Sitchov. 80 overall. Channel points. Flint Firebirds, next up. Ooh, yeah. Flint Firebirds. That's where I'm from, man. Sometimes I go to their games. Ryland Murgatroyd. Grinder defenseman. 85 overall defenseman. I'm interested to see who put that player in. Who put that player in? Riger? Where is he? I don't see him on the list here. Maybe he was a channel points guy. Maybe I'm missing something here. Interesting. Anyway, let's move on. I'll find out later. But Ryland Murgatroyd. Sarnia Orlando coming up next. Jason Kelly? Jason Kelly, offensive defenseman, going to Sarnia Sting. Okay, so we got Orlando, Iowa, Savannah, Indy, South Carolina, Newfoundland. So we have 6 picks. 6 picks, and then we start getting into the XHL custom teams. Oh, Domingo de Flamingo. Sniper, right winger. He's going to the Orlando Solar Bears. You know, go figure that. De Flamingo, right? This is guys obsessed with the zoos down in Florida. Next up, Iowa. Who's going to be outcasted to Iowa? 2-ton Timmy Gula. A hybrid goaltender. That's going to be tough, man. These 85 goalies are going to be, they're going to step in and have John Borhoff type of numbers. That's really going to help those OHL teams, OHL, ECHL type teams against the high-powered offenses of the XHL custom teams. That's really going to be good for them. So Savannah and Indy next. Savannah is going to take Bane McIntosh, a stand-up goalie. The goalies are flying off the board right now, guys. Goalies are flying off the board. Next up, Indy Fuel, and then South Carolina. Hokoyoto Manakawa, a two-way forward center. Channel points variety. Next up, Johan Sorensen, an enforcing defenseman. He's going to go to the Indy Fuel, I believe, right? Let's see if Dalton gets that up. Okay, so he's going to go to South Carolina. South Carolina gets Johan Sorensen. South Carolina gets Johan Sorensen. So we got Newfoundland next, and then it's the XHL custom teams. Who's going to be the last player to go to an OHL team? Ah, Will Till. Will Till. I was hoping that Will Till was going to hold out so he could go to Atlanta, but he's going to go to Newfoundland. He's going to go to Newfoundland. He had one more pick, and he would have been right there to Baltimore, Albuquerque, Atlanta. But that's okay. Will Till, you made it in the top 15 of all the players drafted. That's worth something right there. But man, you just missed out right there. Atlanta could have been there. Man, that stinks. But all right, Baltimore. We are now in the XHL round here, guys. We've got Baltimore up first, the Dukes, Atlanta, Houston, Dakota, then Seattle, but they're giving that pick to Hartford, Utah, Toledo. If you guys remember, they won their quarterfinals games in the playoffs, so they will be slotted in. These teams lost, so these teams, remember, Utah beat Seattle, Toledo beat Dakota, so they vault them in the standings. They lost in the next round though, and of course Charleston, Tucson will round it out. So let's keep going here. We've got the first pick actually for XHL Customs. Baltimore will select Guido Mancini, hybrid goalie. Guido. Does that mean fat? Does that mean fat in Spanish? I forget. Spanish, man. It's been a long time. Albuquerque Dukes coming up next. Vladimir the Impaler Dragovic, enforcer defenseman. He's going out to Albuquerque. Atlanta's coming up next. This would be hilarious if they took a goaltender now. Jamal Kendrickson, hybrid goalie. Okay, so they wanted a goaltender coming in. They definitely needed one. They were eyeing Will Till to bring the guy home, right? But they weren't able to nab him. But they do get Jamal Kendrickson, hybrid goaltender. That's gonna help them for sure. Houston, Dakota, and then Hartford. Houston. Pee-wee Rodriguez, sniper, defenseman. Like that. Pee-wee Rodriguez. I like that. That's cool. For Houston, I love it. Dakota, then Hartford. Evgeny, what do we got? Evgeny Ibragimov. That's what it is. Ibragimov, sniper, left wing. 85 overall player to Dakota. Wow, that's huge. They needed that. They needed an offensive player to go along with Joe Casimir. That's going to really help those guys out. Watch out for Dakota now. They've got some physicality to their team. They got some good defense, and now they add some good offense like that. That's lovely, lovely pick. 80 overall channel points. Sport Bilico, sniper left winger. He's going to go to Hartford. And then we got Utah Toledo up next. Utah and Toledo. Mr. Magic Jr. This magic moment. Playmaker, left winger. Going out to Utah. I believe. Yep, Utah, then Toledo. Toledo's up next. Elijah Bond, an 80 overall goalie. Okay, that's going to help one of those non-custom teams. We go back to the custom route here. Richmond, Tampa Bay, KC, Brooklyn, Tucson, and Charleston. We have 6 picks left before we flip the round. Nicholas Dykstra. I like that name. It's a different way to spell Dykstra. Usually get the Y in there instead of the I-J. Nicholas Dykstra, playmaking center, headed out to Richmond. Tampa Bay Sun Mutts. What are we looking like here? I think they probably need another offensive player. Got to hang on to that 85. They do it. Alexander Washington, a sniper left winger. Very nice. Very nice. They needed that. Kansas City and Brooklyn. Kansas City. Ooh. How many 85s are left on the board? This is going to help them. They've got a lot of good offensive players, does KC. But I think maybe the defense kind of let them down in that game against Charleston. You know? No, Charleston's down east. Against Tucson, I should say. And I think this is going to help them. An enforcer defenseman, Nathan Burnett, 85 overall player. That's the perfect pick that they could have done right there. Given who was left on the board, you had an 80 overall defenseman, 2 of them. You had a power forward defenseman. I don't know why that's there. Maybe that I gave that as an option. I don't know. So they could have went with Phineas Pinkard as well. They could have added some offense there with Matthias Horn. Corey Jaguar, another offensive player, left wing. So there were still some 85s there, but KC did some good things right there with that pick. All right, next up. Sabin Figaro, enforcer defenseman going to Brooklyn. So they wanted to, these are the storylines, guys, right? So we do these random things. You can create some storylines. I think this is a smart pick. You could argue that they wanted to go defenseman there to help out Robert Borhoff. You know, he's given up a lot of goals right now, and I think that helps him out. All right, we go to the second place team. Will be the Tucson Armadillos, and then we go to the champs. They get their pick. Ollie Waters, a grinder defenseman, going to Tucson, and then Charleston heads over and goes and gets Edgar Figaro, sniper defenseman. These teams, they do need defensemen. They really do. Like, if you look at their rosters right now, I think I still have that old sheet from Season 1 linked inside the description of the video. The defensemen are still, there's a lot of like those ECHL, OHL type caliber players. So these teams really need a lot of infusion on defense. So if you're making players for Season 2's draft, I would recommend going after some defensemen because we have a lot of wingers. We need some centers. We need more centers. We need more defensemen. That's really what we're looking at. So left up on the board, we've got Matthias Horn, 85 overall, Corey Jaguar, Phineas Pinkard, and Walter White. Yes, there's a Walter White. We got a Saul Goodman, we got a Jesse Pinkman, and we have a Walter White. All from the same creator. Go figure that. Wouldn't it be crazy if you went to Albuquerque? Now, I haven't decided. I'm going to leave this up to you guys. I'm going to leave this up to you guys in the chat. We got 22 people in here. What do you want to see happen with these 4 players? Do you think it's best if we just follow the snaking order? Again, meaning, do we go back to the top? Do we go to Hartford, Kalamazoo, Wichita, Allen, Americans? These are going to be the 4 teams that go grab these guys. Or do you want to only do custom teams? You only want to do custom teams. Because we could do Hartford here, and we could jump all the way down to Baltimore, Albuquerque, Atlanta. So those 4 teams would go grab these 4 players. So Hartford, Baltimore, Albuquerque, Atlanta. I mean, they were technically the worst of the XHL teams. They lost in the playoffs in the first round. They made it, but they lost in the first round. So it's up to you guys. Let me read the comments and see what you guys are saying here. Crazy G says custom teams only. Demote them to the Truck Flipper Hockey League. We'll spin them at random for all 12 custom teams. Ooh, spinner with all teams, says Chinbeard. Okay. Make a wheel of the 13 customs, says Prince Vince. Okay. All right, cool. I can do that. I can do that live right now. Okay. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's do a new one. I don't really care too much about the layout here. Let's just do XHL custom team wheel. And we'll literally put them all down here. Baltimore, Albuquerque, Brooklyn, Charleston, Tampa Bay, Seattle, Dakota, Houston. What else we got here? Richmond. Who's going to be the afterthought team? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. We got 3 more to go. Don't blank out on me now. Atlanta, Tucson. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. We got one more team. Hartford, yeah. Whoops. Okay. This will be the pick for the next player. Hartford, look at that. They're going to get 3 picks in the draft. Wow. Look at that. They earned it, man. They earned it. Look at this. Hartford, they earned this. Okay. Let's go back. Ooh, shoot. I didn't do that correctly here. No. Fine. Well, how about we do this? We'll get the order right here. We'll get the order. So we're going to have Hartford, Houston. I think Dalton will update this. So we got Hartford, Houston. Hartford, Houston. Seattle. Okay, that's fair. Always trust the wheel, man. You got to trust the wheel. Oh, I missed Kansas City. Shoot. All right, let's put them on here. They got better odds now. Crap, that sucks. Who cares about KC? Tampa Bay. So yeah. Hartford, well, let's give that one to KC. All right, let's give that one to KC. So we'll just shift everybody up. How about that? So we'll go Houston first, Seattle, Tampa Bay, then Kansas City. Kansas City will be last. Hartford, they have 2 picks. They're fine. Let's just move on. Is that good? I think that's good. So Hartford's not going to have this pick. It'll be Houston first. Houston, Seattle, Tampa Bay, Kansas City. I think that's fine. We're good. We're good. Somebody else. Oh, no. You shitting me. No. Can I go back? Oh, God dang it. Who was left on the list? Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Who was left on the list? Oh, man. Oh, God. It was Walter White. I know that for a fact. Walter White, Phineas Pinkard, Jaguar, and Matthias Horn. Right? That's who that was? Yeah, that's who we had. Yep, we're good. Okay, I got it. We drafted Mancini, Figaro, Pinkard, Villico, Bonds, Skitchov, Cooper. Yep. Okay, we're good. So it's Horn, Pinkard, Jaguar, Burnett, Kelly, Poirier, Waters. These guys were drafted. Walter White was left up. Pee-wee, Rodriguez, Magic Jr., Bain, Washington, Dave Flamingo, Dragovich, Will Till, Dykstra, Broadbent, Sorensen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that was who was left. All right, we're good. Okay, next up, Houston. This is Houston's pick since we're skipping Hartford. Houston's up. Houston, Seattle, Tampa Bay, Kansas City. Houston, Matthias Horn, playmaking center. Going out to Houston. Next up, Seattle. Oh, man. Lucas, if he's in here, this guy is one of the luckiest people I know, man. Back in GGBL, he had his custom guy go to Seattle. He gets his custom guy go to Seattle. You know, how lucky are you, man? Out of all the chances, what are the odds of this happening here? So Corey Jaguar going out to Seattle. Imagine that now. Seattle gets to round 2 basically. They give up their first pick. They get Clayton Keller. Now they push back to round 2, and then they still get an 85. Unbelievable. All right, next up, Tampa Bay. Walter White. Walter White goes to be a Sun Mutt. And just for shits and giggles, Phineas Pinkert will be drafted by Kansas City. So KC has drafted 2 players on the defensive side of the ice. So they're really hitting that hard. I think that was a really good draft for them. It was a smart draft for them too. And that's it, man. That is it for the draft, guys. That's it. It's all done. So your results, if we can go ahead and we can take a look at this. We've got Hartford with the 2 picks here. So they took Percy Pinkard and Sport Bilico. I felt like their draft could have been a little bit better. Maybe they like the potential of these guys, but, you know, there were some 85 overall players up on the board that they probably should have gone with. Being an expansion team, you need guys that with like a lot of skill, like Joaquin DeSoto, Skitchov, I think was another one. Domingo de Flamingo was another guy. Two-ton Timmy Gula. Like, there were some guys there, and they went ahead and they took kind of the character guys, the leadership guys. Maybe they're punting and they want to focus on talent next season, I guess. But I feel weird about the OHL, ECHL teams here taking these guys, but you know, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Granted, you guys had a point. You guys definitely had a point in the Discord. You're like, you know what? Given all these teams, all these players that are really good, if they only go to the custom teams, they're just going to be stacked. By season 2, season 3, they're going to be unstoppable. So, you're not wrong. I don't disagree with you at all. I don't know how much of a dent these guys are going to do for these ECHL, OHL teams, and I hope that they're good enough for me to show them in gameplay. Because the one thing I definitely want for you guys is I want you guys to see your players in gameplay, and it can bog down a season. You know, it can bog down a season if we're only focusing on Flint or Idaho or Allen, and there's no point in focusing on those games. So we'll see how it goes, but there's your draft results. Who do you think had the best draft? Post in the comment section, guys. And I know you don't know much about these players at all, but based on their positions, based on kind of their overall and the team that picked them, you know, what do you think that this player's going to do? Who do you think is going to be like Rookie of the Year or something? I know it's like a shot in the dark. I don't even know who's going to be Rookie of the Year. But if I had to honestly make a sound judgment here, I'd probably say that someone not on an OHL, ECHL team, their plus minus is going to be so bad compared to an XHL custom team like Atlanta, Albuquerque, Sport Bilico, or Hartford. He could do something. I'm still sticking to like the 85 overall guys. I think that those guys are just gonna they're gonna ball out. So let me know. Maybe this Evgeny Ibragimov. I'm gonna get it. Ibragimov might be the dude. Evgeny Ibragimov with Joe Kazmir, the reigning MVP last season. I think that this guy might be a sneaky pick here for Dakota. He might win Rookie of the Year. But that's all I got for you guys. Leave a like if you like this thing. And just to give you kind of an update on where we're at with the XHL off season. So obviously we got our draft completed. We know who the expansion team is going to be. And from this point forward, it's just creating uniforms, getting the rosters correct, and of course making these players and getting them onto their respective teams. And then from that point, we're good to go. So I'm thinking that we'll be able to launch Season 2 by the 6th. So Friday the 6th of January is when I'm going to start getting some gameplay done and getting everything ready to go for that. And then we'll have our Episode 1 of Season 2 on the 6th. So guys, have a safe and happy new year, and thank you for tuning into the draft. I know, again, it can get kind of boring, especially if you don't know who these players are. You can't see them. They're not created yet. It's no gameplay. It's just A lot of housekeeping stuff, but I had to do it. I got to do it live for you guys to see it so you don't think that I'm rigging it or cheesing it up. So that's all I got, guys. Hopefully you went to a team that you like, and hopefully you like where you went. Thinking as far as production goes, how many goals you're going to score. Yeah, so we'll see how it all plans out. But guys, that's it. Leave a like if you like this thing. I'll see you back here on the 6th for some more XHL action. Season 2 openers, guys. I'll see you then. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, and peace.